My brother Tom and I did everything together until the day he didn't come home. This is my story. My name is James. I remember when I was a child, I had a brother named Tom. He was 1 year younger than me. We were very close. We did almost everything together. We ate breakfast together every morning. Then we walked to school. We sat beside each other in class. After school, we played football. Every day was the same. I was happy because Tom was always with me. Tom loved football. I loved it too. We played in the park with our friends. We ran quickly. We kicked the ball hard. We laughed and had fun. At night, we watched football on TV. We dreamed about playing for a big team. We wanted to be stars, Tom said. One day we will play in a huge stadium. I said, yes, we will do it together. Our mother was kind. Her name was Emily. She made breakfast for us. She helped us with homework. She smiled when she saw us happy. We lived in a small house. It was not big, but it felt warm. It was full of love. Every evening we ate dinner together. After dinner, we talked and laughed. We were a happy family. Then one day everything changed. It seemed like a normal day. We went to school. We played football at lunch. We laughed. After school, I went home first. Tom stayed behind. He wanted to talk to a friend. I waited at home. But Tom did not come back. I waited and waited. Then the phone rang. It was the hospital. They said there had been an accident. A car hit Tom while he was walking home. The car was fast. The road was wet. The driver did not see him. Tom went to the hospital, but the doctor could not save him. Tom died that day. I could not believe it. My brother was gone. My best friend was gone. My heart broke. Our house did not feel the same. It was quiet. It felt cold. Mother cried every day. I cried too. I tried to stay strong. I wanted to help my mother. But I was sad. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I missed Tom so much. I looked at his bed. It was empty. I looked at his shoes near the door. They were still there. Everything made me cry. I did not want to go to school. I did not want to play football. I stayed in my room. I looked out the window. I remembered our games. I remembered our dreams. It hurt a lot. Mother said, try to smile. But I could not smile. I only wanted Tom back, but he was not coming. One day I went to the park. I sat on a bench. I looked at the sky. I watched the birds. Then a boy came and said, "Do you want to play with us?" I looked at him. He smiled. He seemed kind. I said, "Yes." We played football. I ran. I kicked the ball. I felt the sun on my face. I felt the wind. I felt a little better. That night, I told my mother. She smiled a little. She said Tom would be happy. I said, "I think so too." I looked at the stars. I thought of Tom. I said, "I will play for both of us." I knew he wanted me to be happy, so I tried. I tried to smile again. I tried to live again. After that day in the park, I went there every week. I played football with new boys. Their names were Mark, Leo, and Ben. They were kind to me. They did not ask many questions. They just played. I started to laugh again. I started to run fast again. The sun felt warm on my skin. The wind felt soft. It was the first time I felt okay in a long while. At home, things were still hard. My mother, Emily, was still very sad. She sat in Tom's room and looked at his photos. Sometimes she cried. Sometimes she was quiet. I did not know what to say. I just sat with her. I held her hand. I wanted her to feel better. I wanted her to smile again. But I knew it would take time. One morning, I made breakfast. I cooked eggs and toast. I placed a flower on the table. I said, "Good morning, Mum." She looked at me and gave a small smile. She said, "Thank you, James." That little smile made me happy. It was small, but it meant something. I knew she was trying. I was trying too. We needed each other more than ever. In the evening, I took out the football. I cleaned it. It was the same ball Tom and I played with. I held it close. I remembered his voice. I remembered his laugh. I said, "This is for you, Tom." Then I went outside and kicked the ball. I ran down the street. I felt like he was with me. I felt strong again. I was not alone. Not truly. Every night I looked at the photo on my wall. It showed me and Tom in the park. We were smiling. We were holding a football. I talked to the photo. I said, "I miss you." I said, "I will play for you." I said, "I will be strong." The photo gave me hope. His smile gave me light. I knew I had to keep going. At school, some kids asked, "Where is Tom?" I said, "He is not here." They said, "Sorry." I nodded. I did not want to talk much. I only wanted to learn in class and go home. But some days were better. Some days I laughed with Mark. Some days I played games at lunch. Slowly I started to feel better. Slowly I began to feel like myself again. On Saturday I went to the beach with my mum. It was Tom's favorite place. The sky was clear. The sea was quiet. We sat on the sand. We did not speak. We just listened to the waves. Then Mom said he loved this place. I said, yes, he did. We cried a little, but it felt okay. It felt like he was close to us. After that, we went to the beach every year on Tom's birthday. We brought flowers. We brought his favorite snacks. We sat there and talked about him. We told happy memories. We laughed and cried. It was our way to keep him near. It helped our hearts heal. It made us feel stronger. It made us feel like a family again. Months passed and I began to smile more. I woke up early. I ate breakfast with my mom. We talked about small things. She told me about her flowers. I told her about school. It felt nice to talk again. It felt nice to hear her laugh. Our house was still different, but it was not so quiet anymore. It started to feel like home again. I began to play football every weekend. Mark, Leo, Ben and I made a team. We played at the park. We passed the ball quickly. We ran and shouted. We were not the best team, but we had fun. After the game, we sat on the grass. We drank water and told jokes. I felt happy there. I felt free. I knew Tom would like that. Sometimes I looked at the sky. I thought of Tom. I said, "Are you watching me?" I hoped he could see me play. I hoped he was proud. I talked to him in my mind. I told him everything. I said I played well. I said I scored a goal. I said I miss you, but I am okay. Talking to him helped me feel strong. One day my teacher told us to write a story. She said to write about someone special. I wrote about Tom. I wrote about our games. I wrote about his smile. I wrote about the day he left. When I finished, I gave it to my teacher. She read it and cried. She said, "This is beautiful, James." I felt proud. I felt understood. My friends read the story too. They hugged me. They said, "We are here for you." I smiled. I said, "Thank you." I knew I was not alone. I had my friends. I had my mum. I had Tom in my heart. That gave me strength. That gave me light. I was not sad all the time now. I had good days and bad days, but I kept moving forward. One evening I found Tom's old shirt. It was blue and white. It had his name on the back. I held it close. It smelled like him. I did not cry. I smiled. I said, "I will wear this when I play." I put it in my bag. On Sunday I wore it to the game. My friend saw me. I said, "This is for Tom." They all smiled. That game felt special. I ran fast. I kicked hard. I scored 2 goals. I looked at the sky and smiled. I felt like Tom was with me. I felt like he was giving me strength. After the game, my friends clapped. They said, "You were great today." I said, "It was for my brother." They nodded. They understood. I felt happy. Later that night, I sat with my mum. We drank hot tea. I told her about the game. She smiled and said, "Tom is proud of you." I looked at her. Her eyes were gentle. She touched my hand. I felt warm. I felt loved. I knew I had lost so much, but I also knew I still had many good things. I still had hope inside me. One morning I woke up early. The sun was bright. The sky was clear. I put on my shoes and went outside. I took the football with me. I walked to the park alone. I sat on the bench where Tom and I always sat. I looked around. Kids were playing. Birds were singing. I smiled a little and held the ball in my hands. I stood up and began to play. I kicked the ball against the wall. It came back fast. I kicked again. I ran after it. My heart beat quickly. I felt strong. I felt free. I closed my eyes for a moment. I heard Tom's voice in my head. He said, "Go, James." I opened my eyes. I laughed. It felt like he was there with me, just like before. Later that day, I saw a small boy. He was sitting alone. He had no ball. He looked sad. I walked to him. I said, "Do you want to play?" He looked at me and smiled. He nodded. We started to kick the ball. He laughed. I laughed too. It was a simple moment, but it made me feel good. I knew Tom would be proud of me. The boy's name was Tommy. He came to the park every week. I played with him often. He was small, but he ran fast. He called me Big Brother. I liked that name. It made me feel important. I taught him how to kick and pass. He listened carefully. He always smiled. Playing with him made my heart warm every time. At home, I told my mom about Tommy. She smiled. She said, "You are helping him like Tom helped you." I thought about that. It felt true. Tom helped me learn football. He helped me be brave. Now I was helping someone else. That made me happy. I felt useful. I felt like I was doing something good in my life. One weekend I had an idea. I asked my mom if we could start a small football group for kids. She said yes. She helped me tell other parents. Soon many kids came to the park. We played together. We ran and laughed. I gave them shirts with their names. I told them to believe in their dreams. I said, "Never stop playing." The kids were happy. Their parents watched and clapped for them. They thanked me. I said, "This is for Tom." They asked, "Who is Tom?" I told them his story. They listened quietly. Some of them cried. Then they said, "He must have been very special." I nodded. I said, "He was my brother, my best friend, my light." That night, I sat in my room. I looked at Tom's photo again. I said, "Look what we did." I smiled. I felt strong. I felt proud. My heart was not as heavy as before. I still miss Tom, but now I smiled when I thought about him. I knew I would never forget him. I knew I would keep his memory alive forever. The next month, something wonderful happened. A local coach came to the park. His name was Mr. Parker. He watched the kids play. He watched me teach them. After the game, he came to me and said, "You are good with kids. You play well too. Have you thought about joining a team?" I smiled and said, "Not for a long time." Mr. Parker gave me a paper. It was about a youth football club. He said, "We need players your age. Come and try." I looked at the paper. My heart beat fast. I thought of Tom. I thought of his dream. I went home and showed my mum. She read it and said, "Tom would want this for you. You should try." I went to the trial day. Many boys were there. They were fast and strong. I felt a little nervous, but I wore Tom's shirt. I touched his name on the back. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Then I walked onto the field. I ran hard. I passed the ball. I kicked with all my strength. I gave everything I had. I smiled the whole time. After the game, the coach called my name. He said, "You are in." I could not believe it. I laughed. I almost cried. I thanked him again and again. I ran home quickly. I told my mom. She hugged me tight. She said, "I'm so proud of you." That night, I looked at the stars and whispered, "Tom, we did it. We are back." The first day at the club was fun. The team was friendly. The coach was strong but fair. We trained hard. We learned new skills. I felt tired but happy. I wanted to improve. I wanted to make Tom proud. I told the boys about him. They said, "He sounds like a great brother." I nodded and said, "He was the best." Playing football every week gave me hope. It helped me stay focused. I started to dream again. I dreamed about big games. I dreamed about being on TV. I knew it was a long road, but I was ready to take it. I had my mom. I had my friends. I had Tom in my heart. And I had my team, which made me feel strong every single day. One day after practice, I sat alone. I looked at the field. I remembered Tom's face. I said, "Thank you." I said, "You gave me strength." I knew life would always be different without him. But I also knew I was not lost. I had a path now. I had a dream again. I had love. That was enough to keep moving forward. A year passed since Tom left. I was still playing football. I was stronger now. I was faster too. My coach said I had talent. He said I had heart. Every time I played, I wore Tom's shirt. It was old now, but I didn't care. It was my lucky shirt. It gave me strength. It gave me something to believe in. On Tom's birthday, Mom and I went to the beach. It was his favorite place. We sat on the sand. We watched the waves. The sky was gray, but it was calm. We brought flowers. We brought his photo. I held the picture and said, "Happy birthday, Tom." Mom held my hand. We did not speak much, but we felt close. I walked along the shore. I kicked a small rock. I looked at the sea. It felt like Tom was there. I closed my eyes and listened to the wind. It sounded like a whisper. I imagined him saying, "Keep going, James." I smiled. A tear rolled down my face, but I did not feel weak. I felt warm. I felt proud to be his brother. That evening I wrote a letter. I wrote it to Tom. I said, "I'm doing well. I miss you every day, but I smile more now. I play football again. I help kids. I try to be brave like you." I folded the letter. I put it in a small box. Then I buried it in the sand near his photo. It was my gift to him, my way to say thank you. Weeks passed, and our team entered a big match. It was the largest game of the year. Everyone was excited. The coach said, "Give it your all." I nodded. I looked at the sky. I whispered, "This is for you, Tom." The game began. It was fast. It was tough. We ran. We passed. We kicked. I gave everything I could. In the last minute, the score was the same. I got the ball. I ran quickly. My heart beat loudly. I saw the goal in front of me. I kicked with all my strength. The ball went high. It went into the net. The crowd cheered. My team lifted me up. I smiled with tears in my eyes. I pointed to the sky. I said, "For you, Tom." That moment was the best in my life. After the game, my team hugged me. My coach said, "You were amazing." I said, "I had help." I did not explain, but I knew. I knew Tom was with me in my heart, in my game, in my life. That win was for him. That smile was for him. And I felt he smiled too wherever he was. That made me feel whole. Back home, Mom made a small cake. We lit one candle. We said happy birthday again. We shared old stories. We laughed. We cried a little. But the sadness was soft now. It was mixed with love. It was mixed with light. We looked at Tom's photo. We said, "We will never forget you." Then we held each other tight. Now I still play football. I still help kids. I still talk to Tom in my heart. I learned something important. Even when someone is gone, love stays. Memories stay. Dreams stay. Tom gave me all of that. He gave me hope. He gave me strength. I will carry that forever. I will live for both of us, with love. What part of this short story touched your heart the most? Your comments help more learners discover meaningful stories.